guys, this is Cindy, and I'm back with a card today that was really special to me in making, and I'm calling it Super Parents. This is a card I made for my best friend who is having a baby soon. So first I started off with stamping my image in Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I stamped two of the little heroes from the Tiny Heroes Mama Elephant set and the ball from the Nursery Deco set. I actually took a Copic multi-liner and to draw the bottom of the balloon and strings, so it looks like the two heroes are holding the balloon together. And I also stamped Baby Makes Three. So here's the Copic coloring I did for it. It's very simple, mostly two color blending because I'm actually pretty new to Copic coloring. And I sped this up quite a bit, so no, I do not color this fast or move this fast when I'm coloring. And I actually don't do a lot of blending either because these are very tiny images. But I just wanted to show you the type of process I do when I make cards. So I stuck with a basic palette for this card. I wanted to keep it all tied in together, and the first superhero I could think of, and this sounds so silly, is Captain America. So I kind of based my colors off of like a red, white, and blue, or actually used some yellows in there, kind of color range, which is really cool because her baby shower was all superhero based. So what I'm going to do now is let you watch some of the coloring, and I am going to add some music to the video while that happens. So after I was finished all of the coloring, I knew I wanted to do some sort of background. And the best way for me so far for masking has been to use rubber cement. I've tried like Post-its and other papers that I temporarily adhere down, and for some reason, I don't know if I'm just too rough, they always peel up. So far I've had really good luck with rubber cement, and it's very inexpensive. I actually have a child's paintbrush that I got from the craft store for, I don't know, maybe a couple dollars, and a jar of rubber cement, which is going to last me forever because you really don't use a lot of rubber cement to cover up the images. You'll actually see me lift up the image, and that's just to check to make sure that there is rubber cement on all the important parts. You can actually see it. There's like a glare, which is really important to make sure your entire work is covered. So I was actually so excited about the background, I forgot to turn on the camera. I actually put my superheroes up on a rooftop. So I made a little brick building out of some R59 Copic and some of my C cool grays. I used some light grays, like I think it was C1 and C3. I didn't want it to be too, stand out too much. I just wanted the background to be very subtle. Next, I wanted to create the sky, and I knew that to do so, I'd really, really want to uh, make sure everything was going to stand out ahead of time. So I went ahead and I re-stamped the Baby Makes 3 in VersaFine, no, not VersaFine, in Versamark ink, and covered it in clear embossing powder before I started, because I wanted to make sure that, when I did the sky and everything, nothing would be covered, since I did not mask off the bottom portion of the scene. So I cover that up with the clear embossing powder, and then I heat set it with my heat tool. Off screen, of course, because there's no other way to do it. And then I have no idea why, but I flipped my paper over on my craft sheet while the embossing powder was still hot. I was very lucky that nothing happened to the embossing powder. It still looks great. So, whew. But I would not recommend doing that to anybody. Okay, so I knew the sky was going to be like a light blue. So I went in with my B00 and went around my superheroes to make sure that they got good coverage around them, because I didn't want to go in too tight with any blending or with any type of background that I was going to be doing. So I went in around them first, and then I blended it out with my Zero colorless blender to make sure it was very nice and light. And this also gives them like this halo effect, which makes them stand out too. Next, I went in with my tumbled glass distress ink and a mini ink blending tool to create my background sky. And I think this looks so nice. Like the tumbled glass matches perfectly with the B00. I couldn't have planned it out any better. I always make sure I go really heavy around the edges. I like having that nice defined look around the edge. And then bring it into the center. I always try to start off my page, but I've always, I don't know, since I've gotten the distress inks, I've found that I have some issues with blending them. Once the background was complete, I made sure to add some glossy accents to the parts of the card that I wanted them on, and that was the balloon and the stars on the outfits. Next, I took a piece of Simon Says stamp cardstock in Fog and cut it to make a horizontal top folding card. This is a standard A2 size card, so I will be scoring it at 4 1/4, so that it'll be a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. Since it is a personal card, I will be stamping it with a custom stamp that I had made, and it says handmade by Cindy, and I do that in a light gray ink, so it's a nice tone on tone color and doesn't really stand out, it just marks it. And next it's ready to write in. So I hope you enjoyed watching the process I'd made for this card, and I really enjoyed making it, and I really enjoyed even more giving it to my best friend. I hope she enjoyed it too. Her baby shower was absolutely beautiful. So if you have any questions about the things that I used, you have a description linked below and an even more detailed description on my blog. And as always, if you comment or question, I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope to see you guys again soon.